The story of the Python and Snake King in Tan Bang. In the past, royal physician Nguyen Hu Long ran to assist King Za Long. Unfortunately, because the Tay Sun army was in hot pursuit, the royal physician fled to Tan Bang, Can Gao River, region, Rach Jia Province, Kien Jiang. Just arriving at the village, I suddenly heard the loud sound of gongs and drums. The soldiers came to investigate and then returned to report, "Sir, the people in the neighborhood are holding a ceremony." They took the two babies, washed them cleanly, burned incense, and waited to offer them to the royal physician. The royal physician asked, "When will the Python King come?" "Yes, we don't know." After listening, the royal physician came. "Place, ask the people." The elders all expressed fear and explained the story. Every year, on the right occasion, two king pythons from the sea of the Gulf of Siam come to stir up trouble in the village. The pair of king pythons were as big as a cow's trunk. When they arrived, the whole forest shook, the wind blew, and houses collapsed. The villagers prayed and promised to give King Python 2 children every year. Thanks to that, the Python King was no longer as aggressive as before. Looking through the ceremony, the royal physician was extremely moved, especially when he saw those 2 innocent children. The royal physician quickly asked, "When will the Python Snake King coming?" The elders answered, "Yes, tomorrow night around the 3rd watch, the hour of the hour." "You guys can rest assured, listen to me. Yes, there is a chance that the tiger disaster will not succeed, causing more harm to the people in the neighborhood. Don't be shy, I'll just do it like this, like this. The important thing is not to reveal it in advance, lest the people stir up a stir and the plan might fail." So the next day, the royal physician personally commanded a few trusted people, telling them to find 2 very fat dogs. Took him back to shave his hair, and cut his intestines in a remote hut in the mountains and forests. On the other hand, the royal physician told the soldiers to grind some herbs until smooth. Somewhere along the way, the royal physician taught them to put the dispersant into the stomachs of 2 dogs, making sure the intestines were sealed. The next night, the crowd gathered at the ceremony yard. The parents of those 2 children cried bitterly when they saw their children starving and fainting in an atmosphere filled with suffocating incense smoke. At the 2nd watch, the elders stood up and called on the people, "Mrs. Please rest assured, retreat into the house. Don't sneak out the door and die unjustly." Everyone was bewildered, but in the end they had to obey. Only the parents and relatives of the 2 children kept falling down and crying. Waiting for everyone to disappear, royal physician Nguyen Hu Long said to the parents of the 2 victims, "Now you just go ahead. Take your child home without letting the neighbors know." They were bewildered. "We are afraid of revenge from the Snake King." "Well, just go quickly. In a moment, I will be clever enough to deal with it." Then, according to the royal physician's orders, the soldiers brought the 2 dogs to the yard. The soldiers set up 2 dogs to resemble the posture of a kneeling child. They used ink and lipstick to paint the dog's mouth and eyes to resemble the posture of a baby. The royal physician gave one last instruction: "Please prepare the paint." Have you arrived yet? As soon as he finished speaking, the forest trees crackled like a thunderstorm. The royal physician waved his hand and told the rest, "Let's hide carefully to wait for the opportunity." Outside the yard, agarwood was flying. The two dogs were shaved, looked white, and vaguely resembled two babies. Suddenly, the storm stopped. Two python snake kings appeared, crawled close to the ground, slowly approached the top of the basswood, then stood up, showing off their rather large combs, dancing back and forth. The royal physician happily said to the soldiers, "They are too trusting. We're two dogs." Before biting the bait, the python snake king also toyed with the bait. Apparently they were in pairs, one male, one female. A few minutes later, the two king pythons wrapped themselves around the bait, swallowed it whole, then crawled back and forth, their posture even more languid. The enchanting drug was absorbed. Gradually. Not missing the opportunity, the royal physician waved his hand and gave the order. The soldiers brought out the paint and cautiously approached the two evil beasts. Paint quickly, each one a different color. The python lay unconscious. The soldiers were free to paint it. The male painted it blue, the female painted it red. The elders asked quietly, "Why hasn't the high official ordered him to be killed?" The royal physician replied, "However, his position is still strong. My army consists of only a few people, but I guarantee that from now on they will not dare to come back to cause trouble again." The two pythons suddenly stirred because of the enchanting medicine. Time after time it lost its effectiveness. But when they looked at each other and saw strange colors, they became panicked, seeing each other as enemies of a different kind, too strange. So the male python and the female python got angry, bit each other, chased each other like the wind, and disappeared towards the Gulf of Siam. From then on, the pair of pythons never returned to the mainland again. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.